Well, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here in my workshop right now if it wasn't for you guys making all these orders. It's 7 days a week right now trying to get this stuff together, and you guys keep challenging the hell out of me because you come up with different stuff, you know? So, I mean, this right here, I can't tell you. This is a thing of beauty right here. This is a mug / card rack. See the grooves in there? So that way you can put the cards in the hard cases, or you can put mugs in here. You can do a combination, and that's solid cherry with maple. And it's heavy as. So, I've been sitting here. It is 10:40. So for an hour and 10 minutes, I've been watching Undisputed. And it's amazing to me because they have been talking about Michael Jordan's Last Dance for the whole show. And I'm not saying that isn't something big, because, you know, it is. It's big. But right now we got a vacuum in sports right now, you know, right? A big vacuum that they usually fill with Dallas Cowboys. Usually we're talking about Dak Prescott, or we're talking about Zeke Elliott, you know, how they're bad examples, how the NFL should come down on those guys because they're public enemies number one, you know? Or we talk about, you know, are they going to rescind the offer to Dak Prescott? You know, is Dak going to be overpaid? You know, all of these kind of issues are things that they normally talk about, right? So again, we're still back at basketball. The amazing thing to me is you ended up having two guys that were arrested in the NFL and released on bond. You ended up having another one caught drunk driving, and there's a video out there with his sobriety test, okay, and he's lit up, as well as having a weapon. This on the heels of other, you know, Julie Edelman for vandalism, Earl Thomas and those wives, all of these issues, but yet nothing. We had Dak and Zeke and Dez, public enemy number one for working out and getting together. But anyway, that's not what this video really is about. Just pointing that out. We actually got some really good news. Is Layton Vander Esch, apparently his neck is 100% healed. Now see, this is the bad thing about this offseason, is because the last 2.5 months we've been dealing with Corona. I mean, you remember what's the day where everything changed was when the NBA decided we're canceling the season. It was just like, wow, this shit is real. And so that time, facilities have been closed where the trainers and the staff have not been able to work with the players, and the players have been out working out on their own. And having a guy like, you know, Layton Vander Esch, who had neck surgery and dealing with the neck issue that he's had throughout college and into the NFL, you don't know what kind of shape it's going to be in. Now, he's been interviewing. He's supposedly in great shape, feels perfect, it's healed. He said it's even better than where it was before. Now, you could look at Vander Esch, because I kept looking at him before we knew that there was a neck injury, and I kept saying there's something wrong with him because he was taking terrible angles on players. You know, he would be going over here, and the player, you know, is all the way over here, and then he's trying to reach back around, and that's because I guess he couldn't turn the head. His head couldn't be on the swivel there to be able to make those moves and to be able to cut. You know, if your neck's stiff, you know, your head, okay, what we were always taught in football was wherever your head goes, your body goes. Okay, so why Deacon Jones had the head slap. When I slapped your head this way, your behind's going that way. And if you were unable to turn your neck, you're not going to be able to make those moves, because you got to literally lead. You know, you got to lead with your head. And so that's great news that he's in shape. The other thing, part of this equation, is there's other guys that we have to be really concerned with how they're healing, because you got Tyrone Crawford, who is that $9.5 million cap hit, coming off of double hip surgery. You know, supposedly he's in great shape and everything else, but you don't know for sure until you get guys out on the field. Another one we have to worry about too is Connor Williams, who had ACL surgery, I think about 4 months ago. So they're not able to work out with the trainers, and make no mistake about it, working out with a physical therapist is a lot different than working out on your own. And you hope that they're getting the right treatment, they're getting the right exercising and things. And as you've gone through, trying to remember what show it was, but I was watching a show last night and looking at how some different athletes around the world are trying to work out at home. So there's a basketball player who's like, I don't have a hoop at my house. I don't have where I can go to the gym. I can't go down to the gym and go work out. I can't go to the park and work out, and I don't have a basketball rim at home. So that's an issue. I saw an athlete who had greased the bathtub and was using that like a treadmill. So it's greasy and he's running in the bathtub. Now, that's great. Hey, that's a great idea. I would have never thought about doing that. But if you slip, that can be painful. There's another player who was doing squats. He had a big Labrador. So he's holding the Labrador. The Labrador was loving it. The Labrador, you can see he was like, yeah, this is cool. But he's holding the Labrador and doing squats in his garage. So you have kind of the haves and have-nots. If you are a journeyman player who's gone from city to city, you may not have a home that's got a gym in it. We see Gerald McCoy, who's looking cut up. He's got the gym in his house. So you have some players that have an advantage over others that are used to doing work with themselves, have the gym and the facilities at their place. Des Bryant talked about, hey, I got a field on the side of my house where I can go run routes. Other guys, if you just got drafted and you're just coming there and you're staying in an apartment or a friend's house, you may not have those things. So this is a big concern for NFL teams on how their players are going to be able to get in shape. So we'll see how it all goes. But that's great news on Layton Vander Esch, and hopefully it continues with Tyrone Crawford as well as Connor Williams. In the meantime, I'm going to risk brain damage here, and I'm going to watch the whole Undisputed show and see if any of the arrests that happened this weekend. And mind you, these aren't nobodies that have been arrested. We've had 3 first-round draft picks that have been arrested. We're talking about drugs and gun charges and DUIs, things that are putting others in danger. I want to see if we're going to actually hear anything on these things. So I'm going to get back to work here because it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. And I'll probably do a little live stream a little bit later on here in the workshop. But make sure you tune in tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, for our live stream. Every Monday and Friday nights, 9 o'clock, like clockwork, every week. See you soon.